Alright, so as mentioned, let's continue the quest line of Ratbag, specifically the task that he asked us, defeating each war chief. So let's actually see what the Nemesis system is all about, because the other war chiefs are completely, randomly generated, starting with this guy. And each of them will cannot actually be encountered on the map properly, then instead need to be snuffed out from their hiding place.
Why
So
is
what we need
that?
to do, well, because again, they're mostly the big warships, and the game wants you to take them out just for their specific missions.
Ah, okay.
Um, mhm.
I'm guessing in the sequel
Give the
there are a
Kumathau
lot of more
Fabrik some
different
friends.
circumstances with how
Yes,
you get to the war
at least
chiefs.
there are variables. Yes, but again, all in due time. Like I said, this game is mostly limited by its release date and the fact that it was still yanked from previous generation consoles. This is literally the Arkham Asylum to the next game's Arkham City.
Yeah, that checks out. A great start, followed up by a much more greater game that expands on the formula.
All right, so let's begin. Let's get to the mission first. These will actually follow similar trends, as in, again, the war chief is basically in hiding. You need to perform a specific task, and once you do, the war chief will actually come out,
Only
and then
strength
you
of
can actually
stone
kill him.
survives the flood.
In this
Resist the
case,
warchief's waves, and he shall face us.
we need to
So,
actually raise properly the alarm. So for once, we can actually go all out.
it's just one of us versus all of them.
Well, two, if you want to count Celebrimbor.
Physically, one of us, but okay.
Boo. Yeah, that's another thing. The orcs have a nickname for you, the Tark, as it's called. It's really also important for both this and the following game. I can do this all day, you know.
Well, I see that they didn't go to the Assassin's Creed school of mooks just attacking you one at a time, since some
No,
seem
like
to
I
be
said, it's
attacking
more
you.
similar to the Arkham games in terms of enemies being ruthless. You also noticed that if I am performing a combo and then an execution afterward, the animation will actually be different, to reflect that. So again, even this game already had a couple of variables in the type of acrobatic in order to not becoming too stale, in the combat.
That's nice.
And again, most of these combat animation were actually mocapped, so again, a lot of work actually went into these.
It's a thing that games technically don't have to do, but let's be honest, it's always better when they do, because it does help break up the potential monotony of, fighting constantly.
Shank. So yeah, we just need to kill a few more Uruks and we're good to go. Yeah, another thing that you get as an upgrade very quickly, you can actually detonate the barrels of grog for hilariously explosive, results.
Wow. I know that it's alcoholic, but goddamn, I didn't think it was that flammable.
Elf magic, Jova.
Huh.
You also gain a sort of an equivalent to the special attacks once you reach the red bar for your arrows, as in you can set an enemy on fire. Some enemies are actually, fear actually the fire, so you can use this as an advantage against them.
No, please, by all means, who's next?
That's another thing, again, similar. Again, I get the idea that the people who made this game also were a bit of a fan of 2003's Old Boy, because again, if you keep fighting a big fight continuously, but you still have mostly the upper advantage, not all enemies will be so eager to jump on you as the fight goes on and the better you perform.
So, they'll, linger in the back going, oh, yeah, good job, guys, but not really be eager to get into the fray themselves. Yeah. Wow, again, that's...
And yeah, every time a war chief arrives, an entire choir busts up their names. And this guy got a rat on a stick. Oh. The problem is that this warchief also had a bodyguard, which unfortunately we are not able to take out because some bodyguards specifically only accompany the warchief and will show up only for this occasion. So the game imposes a bit of extra challenge in case.
Again, like, it is remarkable the lengths they go to with the AI in this game. Like, I'm not entirely certain.
Did I?
Oh.
I'm going now. Next time I'll kill you all the way.
Oh no, you don't.
Trying to run away, are you?
But again, you can take this to your advantage. Also, another thing: once you get into your health gets depleted, you enter this comatose state. And if the person who actually gave you the final blow is nearby, will attempt a final attack. If they succeed, you're technically considered slain, but again, you cannot die, so you just respawn. But instead, if you actually manage to suppress the quick time event that pops up, oh, here we go, you'll be able to give another chance. And there you go.
Wow.
Another thing, if you want to go for the decapitation, the teleportation attack always connects this if it's the final blow. So if you want to be super safe, you can do that.
I love the just the image that he just suddenly drops dead.
Yeah, it's a visual representation of that happening.
Suddenly the orc died of a heart
So-
attack.
So is there, like, a certain area mapped to the point where the game considers that they've gotten away?
Yes, if you actually let them move on, far enough, the game will just tell warchief run away. And in this case, for example, specifically for the warchief, you're able to try again. The good thing about it is that both in this and in the second game, once you refill the condition to spawn the warchief, if you attempt again, you will immediately start from that point instead of having to do the entire thing again.
I see,
Also
so
good.
the warchief's health will be at where you last left them after they retreated.
No, but again, you will need to just start from that big checkpoint. Go on, Pedro.
Also, Dibs, you're not saying it properly. Allow me. When suddenly the orc has a sudden heart attack, the peril is no more.
Alright,
So-
this particular type of nothing mission is that you need to stay confined to a very small area, and you need to kill enemies inside the fort without setting the alarm.
I'm curious, are there any strategic advantages to letting a warchief get away?
No. Again, if you feel like you're being too much overwhelmed, the game even tells you if you think you're much too overwhelmed, it's best to just fight another day, because remember, an enemy that kills you is an enemy that becomes stronger. And unless you're deliberately manipulating the ranks, you don't want that.
So there is definitely still a penalty to death in that regard.
Absolutely, yes. Again, unless you want to weaponize it and you're planning strategically how to do it.
I like how, just by controlling whether or not you want to die, you can legit manipulate the entire political system of an entire government.
That's because, again, we operate on old-school Klingons, as in, that killing equals promotion, so...
Yep.
And, killing your superiors equals taking their place. Again, like I said, once again, the second game goes even more above and beyond on that front by having potentially, one passing for a bodyguard, for example. But again, for the purpose of this one only, it's already impressive what it is.
Did they ever do a case where the bodyguard is actually the real chief who's just in disguise?
It might be possible, but I never encountered. But considering the type of variables there are, I was really surprised. I haven't. By the time we're doing this, I haven't.
So quiet you can be. I like the quiet time myself.
Ew.
I wonder, do they program all these potential encounters based off of if you're facing him ranged or up close?
No, not that specific. The creation of the. And
I am surprised he was still conscious after that first neck stab.
gonna be stylish and everything. Triple S. Also, another thing that I didn't explain, every time you kill an orc captain or a war chief, you gain the amount of power, which unlocks higher tiers of the upgrade system. So the more captain you kill or the more events you fulfill, the better, the stronger you can also become. So it's very encouraged that you give it a try.
I like how each time you kill a war chief, the other mooks go, yeah, screw this, and just dash away.
It's not always a guaranteed, but yeah, most of the time when you kill a captain after a big fight or a war chief, the others will essentially tuck tail because they understand the challenge. But some of them might still not, or if anything, they might actually fight more ferociously because they're pissed off. So it's not always a guaranteed.
This one looks
again,
armored.
The key component of this game is the RNG that can actually, you know, be extremely chaotic either in your favor or against you. Also, yes, this is called a trap. But anyway, basically, Jova, in order to make the enemy system effective, the orc gets spawned, you know, in the randomized state. Pretty much as soon as the map system tells you a new captain has spawned, you know, and after that point it's only a matter of you actually discovering this one or them discovering you. And after that, you know, it's just a matter of actually facing each other. The equipment is just determining at the beginning, regardless of what you do. The personality might be actually a bit influenced by your actions, but I am no programmer, and this system seems incredibly complex, but I don't even know what I cannot dip my toes into this.
I can't even imagine how many different orc designs or combos they had to make for potential captain appearances, too.
And like I said, the amount of voice lines that they had to record.
In terms of enemies getting upgraded, does that include, like, the sort of armor that they may get and wear and the weapons that they may wield?
Yes, these happen mostly when a captain gets promoted to war chief and when a mook gets promoted to captain. When it comes to the intermediary places of the ranks, they're mostly just there. I killed this guy off screen, but he kinda came back apparently with a big scar. Oops.
Was he one you forgot to decapitate?
Well, not forgot. Like I said, Talion not always will just decapitate the enemy, but instead will just, you know, kill them with a simple stab or something.
Well, it seems this one remembers you, so this can happen with even, like, just general mooks as well?
Yes. Well, no, not mooks, just the captains.
Okay.
Because, you know, they're the ones with a personality more than anything.
So you got, like, two captains. Well, okay. Technically a captain and a war chief, but you get the idea.
This captain was his bodyguard, basically.
You should have decapitated. You should have gone for the head.
Yes, yes, actually. And mind you, this does not save you automatically in the sequel either, because in that game, captains can still respawn potentially even after decapitation with it and acknowledge because their head is literally stitched on their body.
Oh,
So,
great! We're dealing with dark and black magic
actually,
in that one.
While it's not always a guaranteed, you know, it can also be a variable.
So what? In that case, is there an extra step of burning the body?
No, you just need to hope with the next one that sticks.
Wow.
And now time for action. There you go. Sometimes the enemy will just fall down and you need to finish them with another QTE.
You should have worn a helmet. And neck armor.
Not really. Remember what Legolas says in the Two Towers, the weak part is on the base of the neck.
Well, okay, a neck armor then.
And then that guy with the bow and arrow
Like,
fighting,
you know,
he wasn't told to.
Like, you know, gotta give Highlander 5 credit. They made a guy who thinks to wear neck armor, only for him to get rid of it, but
Immediately.
he had it.
I forgot even which actor played the Guardian.
I guess.
Also, this guy is drunk.
Wow. And he's legit a war chief?
Yeah. Well, remember, their personalities are not the reason why they get promoted.
True, yeah.
Again, another thing that the sequel does, you can literally have war chiefs who have been in universe, you know, being hit on the head to the point they cannot actually speak coherently, and they can still be war chiefs.
Brilliant.
Or even completely be madmen on their own.
This
wow.
warchief cannot resist.
So what are the main...
In this case, we just need to blow shit up. Williams' favorite pastime.
So I assume warchiefs are like the highest bout in the Nemesis system you deal with, or
Yes,
is there any?
for this game, yes.
So what's the main difference between them and captains?
The captains are basically the intermediary part that is between the mooks and the warchiefs. The warchiefs can have the captains as their some captains as their bodyguards, not a lot of them, logically. And the mooks actually respond to both of them, you know. Again, the captains have just this 3-step tier, the one that Ratbag showcased to us, you know, that they can climb. And that's basically that. But again, the second act will actually, you know, explain better in how you can manipulate the system.
Somehow he doesn't seem as intimidating as the last few
It was
guys.
chanting, don't what?
Won't fall for this trickery. Stand your ground and fight with steel. in
Not
your
even wearing his
eyes.
helmet properly, so...
Okay.
Alright, let's spice things up with some flies.
No, not the bees!
Close enough.
You know, Nicolas Cage in a Lord of Rings property.
Sure.
Imagine Nicolas Cage as Sauron.
No. I'm struggling to think of a proper fitting role because, you know, it doesn't... Again, the closest I could think to him for would be Tom Bombadil, but they will need to artificially shorten him like with the actors for the Hobbits and the Dwarves, I guess.
I guess given the technology of today.
Or they can just do, what we call the Love Guru and just CGI his head on top of a body. So...
Hopefully that technology has gotten better than since the Love Guru.
Get back.
Alright.
I'll admit, the drunkard is lasting longer than I thought he would.
Well, bit of stereotyping, but again, the guys who are the captains and warships who are drunk tend to have a bigger health pool.
Huh.
This game doesn't really give you too much of an idea of their power level, aside from the weaknesses and resistances. But one thing the next game actually does is to actually give them a general proper idea of a power scale, complete with some stats.
Alright, 4 down and 1 to go.
The last one is the one that's mandatory, the other twin that we discovered before. So
Oh
that's
boy.
what we need to actually find out. Again, I wanted to reserve me for to give a general idea of the Nemesis system. I'm also reserving, just these missions with the warchief for the recording because for this game, they give you the general gist of what the basics of the Nemesis system. Again, for the next game instead, you will actually be seeing pretty much almost all of my thought process in actually manipulating the scales because, again, with the differences that are applied, it gives a lot of variety and very different situations, that can happen.
Cool.
So, you can
So,
look forward to that.
do you ever get, like, flavor text about the lore behind some of these captains in-game?
Not for this, but in the next game, the weapons and equipment that they do drop actually contain some flavor text, but it's not really too important. Also, Ratbag managed to get captured yet again. Like I said, this was kind of predictable because, like I said, the warchief was the twin brother of the guy we killed, so...
You bastards! When I am war chief, these birds will feast on your guts!
How nice.
Did you see that? Could you get me down?
Bye.
Oh god, can you imagine if you accidentally decapitated him?
Good job! He took that other guy down.
I'm alright! That didn't hurt at all.
Heh.
I know what you're thinking, Ranger. This was not my fault.
Uh-huh.
I go to
Sure.
and killed his bodyguard. He turns around Got the exact same face as the dead maggot I just killed. Twins. What are the odds?
Yeah, Talion is like, just stop
Make
it.
sure you show it to take the place of the dead war chief.
But the war chief's not dead.
I'm going to go kill him!
You are just talking about the war
Just think
chief,
of a
right?
paycheck, Troy. Just think of a paycheck.
What paycheck? All right.
Revenge.
So, you know, honestly, maybe this is what Lord of the Rings was missing. A comedic orc character.
In the face of a true foe. Rattle the cage and bring out the beast.
In this case, we need to kill a specific enemy type, the berserkers. I didn't. When I first encountered them, it was in between parts, so you missed a bit the flavor text about it. Essentially, what you need to do is that these are enemy types that dual wield axes. They're more ruthless, you know, in battle. So you need to watch out if they actually show up and concentrate your efforts. You cannot just attack them head on, but you need to instead either counter them or vault over them and attack them.
Let me guess.
And yes, a captain can actually, you know, be one of these types. So you can actually be potentially fucked if they turn up like this.
Do berserkers also have the factor of, like, you know, they won't stop no matter what?
They're more aggressive in general, yes.
Okay, are they chanting the
can't
guy's
stop
name?
Yes, yes, they do that all the time. Regardless of the name, like I said, it could be called like douche or something like that, and we will do it.
Wow, again, like, given, I'm guessing that there's a lot of different name possibilities.
Not as much as the voice lines that you may think, but it's still a good amount of variety. I would say a couple of dozen.
I'm guessing part of that is thanks to the fact that there's probably way less war chiefs than there are captains.
Well, no, in general, remember, any captain can become potentially a warchief, so it's just a matter of the entire nemesis system, not just of one category.
I see. I guess what helps is that each playthrough, I mean, okay, while there's, like, countless different possibilities for
yeah.
what they could look like, I'm guessing that the names more or less stay the same.
Not always, but like I said, the health, the pool from which they can actually get is actually, you know, smaller compared to, you know, the type of personalities and body appearance. So you are bound to see, you know, a couple of names repeating, you know, all over the place in general.
I'm guessing they at least keep names from repeating during a
Also,
campaign.
I just decapitated him, but in the cutscene he's like that.
Oops.
Ratbag is war chief!
Congrats.
Now for the celebratory, you know, ear cutting.
Ranger, we did it!
Uh-huh.
Now honor our arrangement.
Oh, don't you worry. War Chief Ratbag will make sure nobody gets in the way of your dirty schemes.
How nice.
Ratbag can't speak for the other war chiefs.
Fair.
Don't worry about them.
Yeah, they're already dead anyway.
Could I borrow your...
No.
No.
I need a sharper blade.
So I'm guessing the next...
Well, sharpen the one you've got.
So I'm guessing the next few war chiefs are for, like, the second half of the game.
No, again, you will see. Again, this is mostly just a tutorial on the... There we go. And there you go. When again, Ratbag demonstrates that when captains promote a war chief, even their gear changes, you know, slightly.
I see.
But anyway, that's pretty much it. But instead, for the next part, what we're gonna do instead is to help Hirgon and the other the other people who live, the men who live here in Mordor, to stage that terrorist attack that they mentioned using the black powder to blow up a statue of Sauron. So, yeah.
Sounds like fun.